Testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. Hello, welcome to another test episode of Culture Shok Ent Presentz. I am Beth, aka Be True, and we will be focusing on hot topics. Well, the hot topic that I will focus on, I will mention a big shout out to LA Dodgers and the Boston Red Sox. Wow. And I'm torn. I love West Coast and East Coast, so I am torn. So as of now, may the best team win as of now, but I might change my mind and choose to root for one or the over the other. But as of now, may the best team win, and this is going to be a good one. But thank you for tuning in, and we will just dive right into it. If you listen to the test shows earlier, the same information, just tweaking, tweaking. Really appreciate you networking with me in person and throughout social media. Much love to worldwide friends also. And if you're an undecided voter, it's so important to learn as much information as you can regarding the candidates running in certain races or all races. If you really, it's important, regardless what party you're affiliated with. It's very important to be educated and informed on the platforms, so you won't decide not to go vote. I think when we're undecided, more likely we will not go vote, or we just go in and play the game, any, mini, miny, mo. We really, really do your best to, if you're on social media, because if you listen to, some people only listen to podcasts and talk radio, and don't do social media. But you can Google your candidates. You hear about them speaking or debating. Go. Even call their campaign offices and ask to speak to them directly, or their campaign managers. There are effective ways. And do like many of my friends, and the way I do a lot of my friends, they ask questions. I have friends that from that don't care to diehard Democrats and Republicans and independents and Green Party and whatever, that ask questions. So it's important for us to be open and have conversations to learn about, to learn information, and to ask for information, or where we can find information, and what can we do to be informed voters. So undecided voters. I've been a political enthusiast since a little girl. I'm 50 now. Honestly, being a political enthusiast and watching campaigns and watching elections, and a lot of experts, a lot of my friends with political science degrees and politicians, I know they agree with me too. A lot of races are decided by the undecided voter that decides not to vote. So your vote counts. Our vote count. I just want to say that. So we'll go ahead and dive into important information, basic information, but very pertinent information regarding do's and don'ts on Election Day, November the 6th this year. General elections are being held, big elections. We have big elections here in Mississippi. I know all eyes are on Texas, all eyes are on Georgia, Florida, and many other states also. So, be honest, okay, I'm voting for who I have been openly campaigning for when it comes to the Senate race. And the only races I'm personally talking about, I was caught up regarding judicial races, regarding judges. I was caught on the fence regarding a couple of those races. But I do plan to vote early this week. So I will be voting like real soon, because I am not going to procrastinate, and then next thing you know, I will not be able to vote because I'll be working, helping other people to vote. So that doesn't look good. That's not a good look, not at all. So let me go ahead and dive in and share this information with you all. Do some do's and don'ts regarding some rules, things that are prohibited around at your precinct. There's a 30-foot rule, meaning go in and come out. Once you're through with your process. No loitering is allowed within 30 feet of the polling place. Disturbances. If anyone becomes unruly or abusive, you will be asked to leave, male or female. If you don't leave, then law enforcement will come in. Of course, the city clerk, county clerk will come. That's a job for the state secretary of state. So wow. So that's really important. So you'll be asked to leave. If you don't, you will be in trouble. No liquor and alcohol. All intoxicated or disorderly persons disturbing the peace by noise or violence in the polling place should be arrested, jailed, or kept in custody. Such persons may be permitted if they are qualified voters, and to vote while in custody. You don't want to get in trouble. And then there's something else. It is unlawful for any person to post or distribute cards, posters, or other campaign literature within 150 feet of any entrance to a building in which an election is being conducted. It is unlawful for a candidate or his or her authorized representative to appear at any polling place, armed or unarmed, or displaying any badge or credentials except as may be, So you can't do all that. This is the time to do whatever you need to do before election day. And there was a time during election day we could wear gear supporting whatever politician or cause we were in support of. Can't do that anymore. We must look generic now. And I love generic food at some of my favorite places, but we all must look generic now. We can't be out flamboyant and saying, "Oh, I'm voting for so and so." But via our gear, hats and T-shirts. So wearing campaign paraphernalia, wearing T-shirts, buttons, stickers, etc., with a candidate's name or picture on it within 150 feet of any entrance to a building where an election is being conducted constitutes the posting of campaigning literature and is prohibited. Such paraphernalia must be covered or removed from a voter before a voter comes within 150 feet of any entrance to a building where an election is being conducted. And sample ballots. And that's very important. If you listen to the other test shows, I talked about sample ballots because it's important. That's why it's important to have your mind made up or almost made up when you walk in, so your voting experience can be pleasant. Again, if you bring a sample ballot, only bring it in for your personal reason. Don't try to influence other voters to vote for certain politicians. It's only for you. And then private property. If a polling place is within 150 feet of private property, the owner of the property may display campaign material. Polling places that are held on private property that are leased to the county for the day of the election, wherein the 150 feet rule applies, a candidate may go to the private property and politely ask if the literature could be moved, but the owner is under no obligation to remove anything. And I've always loved words and definitions since a kid, and a couple meanings that you need to know. Absentee ballot. An absentee ballot is a vote cast prior to election. It has either been voted in the circuit clerk's office or submitted by mail. Affidavit ballot. An affidavit ballot is a vote cast by an individual who claims to be a registered voter in your precinct, but your info just cannot be located. Okay, so I have voted affidavit ballot before, and this election I will be voting early. We don't have early voting here in Mississippi, but it's kicking off in many states today. But I will vote absentee ballot. So that's important to know. Also, there's curbside voting for many of you that might need assistance. You might not be able to, get there, but may not be able to get in. There's curbside voting also, where members of the poll management team will come out and assist you regarding your needs. And it's good if you bring someone with you that can assist you and help you. But we definitely, I'm working as a poll manager, and so I worked doing the primaries in June, and it was a marvelous experience. So we're here to help you and assist you, there, but it really hurt me to see some people maybe they have moved and had not updated their information, and then you usually will have to do an affidavit vote if you have moved and need to be updated. And then when you submit that, it'll be automatically updated once it reaches the courthouse and the election commission. But I'm going to do a quick rundown also of voters' rights. Voters have rights. We have rights. Voters have the right to ask questions, request assistance with voting prior to voting, only if the person is visually impaired, physically able, or cannot read or write. Also, all voters have the right to mark a ballot in private, free from intimidation. Note, voter intimidation is a criminal offense. Also, review a sample ballot posted at the polling place prior to voting and take information into the voting booth. For example, like a sample ballot, but the sample ballot is only for you. It's not for you to try to influence others. Also, voters' right. Receive and cast a ballot if in line to vote at the time the polls close at 7 p.m. So if you're already in line and it's 7 p.m., I don't care if it's 7:20, you still can cast your vote. The polling station just, that's the law. Choose not to cast a vote in any particular race while completing the rest of the ballot. Another voter's right is to have his or her ballot counted if it is cast legally. Request by affidavit ballot if name does not appear on the poll book and he or she is in the correct polling place. Also, a right of the voter is to request and vote by affidavit ballot if he or she does not have proper identification. Receive written information on how to learn if your affidavit ballot was counted. Be treated with politeness and respect by all election workers. And also voters' assistance. Any voter who proclaims blindness, physical disability, or inability to read or write may receive assistance at the booth. And the valid reasons are, how does a voter get assistance in the voting booth? And to receive assistance in the voting booth, the voter must tell the poll manager. And we're poll managers, but we have different positions. So you tell a poll manager, male or female, that you need help marking your ballot, and state the reasons listed in the law and choose someone to help. And also you can, and anyone may assist you as a voter in marking your ballot except the voter's employer, the employer's representative, or a representative in a union which the voter is a member. So, and also there's curbside voting where you might can get there, but you're just unable to go in. And again, I mentioned that, but again, we will come out and help you and bring your vote back in. So there's many ways. So you able-bodied people, you have no excuse. We have no excuse. Happy voting, and I will conclude this episode, and there will be a part 2. So I will conclude this episode right now, and I really, really thank you for tuning in and supporting Culture Shok Entertainment Presents. Email me at Kulture Shok Ent, KULTRESHOKENT _Beth@yahoo.com, and connect with me throughout social media on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Culture Shok Ent, IG, of course, Blog Talk Radio. Those of you that haven't listened to my episode, because that show premiered in 2011. I think I began broadcasting on Spreaker probably like 2013 or something like that. But again, thank you for tuning in. And remember this, one of my college professors used to always say, you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So thank you. You've been listening to Culture Shok Entertainment Presents. I am Beth, a.k.a. Be True.